Everyone is busy going through their busy lives. Sungwoo steps out of a crowded bus. He seems to be pretty exhausted from his travel. He has to go through this rough bus travel daily because he is commuting from his home. His friend Hanho makes fun of him because Sungwoo completed his harsh military service as a Special Forces Reserve sergeant, and now he can't even bear 2 hours of commute. Sungwoo gets back at Hanho by reminding him that he did not even complete his military service because of a girl, Myeong. After hearing this insult, Hanho becomes completely silent and they head towards their class. On their way, Sungwoo feels a bit bad about the silence of his friend and asks him if Hanho is crying. Hanho points towards the sky at the top of the library building and tells Sungwoo that he saw a message in the sky saying, "Downloading monsters," and that message disappeared after the timing reached 100%. Sungwoo thinks Hanho is sad about his previous girlfriend and he is seeing things in the sky because he spends most of his time playing video games. Sungwoo tells Hanho to snap back to reality and they both head towards their respective classes. During the lectures, Sungwoo becomes a bit dizzy and it's hard for him to stay awake. Suddenly, a blackout happens and all lights went out. A system message popped up in front of everyone in the class. It was written in the system message to pick a class which can help them in the apocalypse. After that, a 15 seconds timer started and different skill cards with stars appeared in front of the class. Some students panicked and asked others not to pick anything because it could be dangerous. Sungwoo is skeptical about them and thinks not choosing a card within the 15 seconds is going to be even more dangerous. Sungwoo tried to pick a warrior card with 2 stars, but a fat kid Min-soo picked it before him and a sword appeared in his hand. Sungwoo became a bit panicked and picked a random card with the most stars. The card he picked belonged to the 5 stars necromancer class and the skill card went inside him. After the timer was up, Sungwoo and the fat kid Min-soo were the only ones who had chosen any cards. The fat kid Min-soo is amazed by his new sword. After a while, a student rushes in the class and there's a small monster on his back which looks like a goblin and he's constantly stabbing the shoulder of the student who is crying for help. He keeps crying for help until the goblin kills him in cold blood. Sungwoo starts running away from the goblin, leaving Sungwoo at the front because they think it's their turn next. Some students request Min-soo to do something because he's the only guy with the sword. But Min-soo is a coward and he's not quick enough to adapt to this situation. Sungwoo also thinks that depending on Min-soo is useless and he has to get out of this situation on his own. The goblin plunges towards Sungwoo with this small dagger. Sungwoo thinks that he will also be done for if he gets caught up like the previous kid. The goblin killed. Sungwoo kicks the goblin with all of his might, which throws the goblin a bit back. Sungwoo realized that the goblin barely felt like it was 30 pounds and he can easily kill it. He picks up a chair and smashes the head of the goblin with all of his force. The goblin is defeated and he receives 10 gold from the system for defeating the goblin. Everyone is shocked after watching this. Sungwoo is quick to adapt to this situation and realizes that the world is fused with the game. Sungwoo is busy understanding the current situation. A system message pops up which tells Sungwoo that he can command the dead under his authority. He touches the goblin skeleton option in his command list, and the dead goblin behind him reanimates as a skeleton. At this point he understands that his necromancer class allows him to summon the undead beings. 2 more goblins rush inside the classroom. Sungwoo orders his undead skeleton to kill those 2 goblins. The skeleton plunges at one goblin and it stabs him in the shoulder. The stab wound is not deep enough, and he gets pushed back by the goblin. Both goblins gang up on him and start chopping off his bones one by one. Sungwoo thinks that he needs to help his skeleton and getting rid of these 2 goblins is easy. But he needs a proper weapon, so he asks Min-soo for his sword, but Min-soo is a coward and rejects him. Sungwoo thinks he is pretty pathetic and asks him to use his sword to peel potatoes. Sungwoo picks up another chair and throws it towards the 2 goblins who were attacking his skeleton. The goblins are knocked back a bit by the chair, and the undead skeleton seizes this chance to end them both with his knife. Sungwoo receives 20 gold for defeating both goblins. After the fight ended, Sungwoo received another system message that he has maxed out the number of minions under his authority. His classmates asked him about what he had done, and he has also no idea about the ongoing events. Other students think that the same thing is happening all over the campus because they can hear screaming voices of others, but when Sungwoo opens the curtains on the windows, he witnesses fires all around the city. Min-soo decides that they need to leave the campus if they want to survive. In the corridor, they encounter more goblins which start chasing them, but they are all subdued by Sung Woo's undead skeletons. While Sung Woo's skeletons are fighting the goblins, he asks the other students to run away while they hold the goblins. Sung Woo also realized that this world is now working like a game, and he can get more stronger if he keeps killing goblins and grinding levels. Meanwhile, one of his undead skeleton gets defeated and his head comes flying near him. Luckily, the goblins are exhausted and his two are the skeletons manage to kill them, which earns him 20 gold and a level up. He is now on level 2 and he has access to his status to window. 5 random skill cards appear in front of him, and he can choose one as a level up gift. He chose a card which increased his maximum number of minions by 1. He can now control up to 4 undead skeletons at once, but he has used up most of his mana because he called up so many skeletons. Sung Woo looks outside the window, and it seems like the situation outside is worse than the campus itself. While he is going downstairs with his skeletons, Han Ho gets freaked out by one of his skeletons and stabs it in the head. Han Ho becomes relieved after seeing Sung Woo alive. Sung Woo tells him that these skeletons are part of his skill. Sung Woo asks which class did Han Ho picked, and Han Ho replies that he picked 1-star row class. They are both heading down the stairs with the skeletons, but suddenly a message pops up saying that they have received synergy with a dagger. It turns out if 5 members of a party have a dagger equipped, they will receive a 10% fatal blow chance and 10% additional gold. While they are moving down the stairs with the skeletons, they encounter another pack of goblins, and there is a goblin chief among them. The goblins become affected by a skill called Sin of Death, which weakens their stats by 30%. Sin of Death activates automatically when there are 4 to 5 skeletons present in a party. Skeletons start attacking the goblins, but the goblin chief activates a skill called Wild Berserker, which buffs all the goblins under his command. The goblins become more powerful and start pushing back the skeletons. Sung Woo knows that they are being pushed back because of the skill of the goblin chief, so he ordered one of his skeletons to cut off the arm of the goblin chief, which he is using for the Berserker skill. The skeleton manages to chop off the arm of the chief, which weakens the goblins, and the skeletons finish them off with ease. Goblin Chief is enraged, but he is easily killed by the skeletons working in synergy. Sung Woo receives one-handed, crude spear and the bracelet of the Goblin Chief, which he was using for the Berserker skill. He becomes a bit happy and praises one of his skeletons, who starts making weird, creepy noises with his bones. When they reach the entrance of the campus, they see a lot of survivors. Sung Woo orders his skeletons to hide in the copy room because people will freak out after watching them. Situation on the entrance doesn't feel any good. They are locked inside the campus and they can't go out. While Sung Woo tries to head outside using the main door, he is stopped by one of the student council members, Jin Sok, who was previously famous for being a bully and harasser. He tells them that he is a shield master with 2 stars and he already killed one of the goblins. He further elaborates that everyone with a weapon should work together to defend the other students. Minsu comes running towards Jin Sok and reports that he heard faint sound of goblins near the entrance. Jin Sok orders the students to get inside the cafes, who he and the other guys with skills can protect them. Sung Woo tells Han Ho to come near the entrance of the gate. They see a message on the entrance that the entrance door has been sealed by a magical force and they need to defeat the boss monster within 2 hours and 11 minutes. If they fail to defeat the monster within a given time frame, the monsters inside the building will grow even stronger. Sung Woo now knows what he needs to do next, but he is stopped by Jin Sok, who wants them to hold the monsters in there until backup arrives. Sung Woo tells Jin Sok that this same thing can be happening around the whole country and waiting for a rescue team is useless, but Jin Sok refutes by saying that the Korean military is more stronger than the monsters. Sung Woo has enough of this bullshit and starts heading towards the stairs, but he is stopped by an approaching group of 5 goblins. Sung Woo orders his skeletons to come out. After watching the skeletons, everyone freaks out because they think skeletons are part of the monsters unit, but Sung Woo tells them that they don't need to be scared because they belong to his class, which is stronger than the idiot Jin Sok. Goblins get scared by the Death Sand skill of the skeletons and it reduces their stats by 30%. Sung Woo orders his goblins to start the hunt.